Grace and peace, you guys. Welcome back to Unshakable. Listen, we don't even have time for an introduction today because unfortunately I have to cover, and I say have to cover because it is important. I believe there's always something that we can learn from situations like this, but we need to discuss these there's this one particular graduation story that still has me looking like a deer in headlights and just clutching my pearls. Like I don't at this point I don't even know what part of Revelation are we in. If somebody can just remind me, because all I can think about is Jesus, Lord, come quickly, Maranatha. That's really where I am right now. I'm gonna be reacting to this video that I came across on X, and I want to engage with it. And it has to do with this young woman, and I'm calling her a young woman because when you graduate high school, typically you're 18 years old. And it just demonstrates how it's not that our standards are low. We've abandoned standards and we lack the self awareness to even know when we do something wrong. And I think it has more to do with the fact that parents are not holding these young people accountable. And these young people, when they get out in the real world, are going to encounter a very rude awakening. So, let's go ahead and take a look at the clip and then we'll engage with it.
And famous, I'm in love with Miss Lady, but I just can't take it. Every day I've been praying, I become more patient. And I know the saying, more money, more problems. No, more money, more people with their money problems looking for you to solve.
All right, let me just pause it before she gives her commentary. So this is a high school graduation, and this young woman, she's just so overcome with emotion and excitement because of this achievement that it led her to drop it like it's hot on the stage in front of everyone into not, a cute little cheerleader split, but I'm talking about a Magic City special. Like, I'm in Atlanta, y'all, so I'm used to seeing sexually perverse things like this. But the part I think that's troubling me the most is that this is coming from a young woman, a girl, a female. And it's not that I'm naive and that I don't understand that this is what the young folks are doing, but I'm struggling to understand, and you'll find out and learn and discover from her own words why this type of behavior, completely inappropriate, over the top, sexually perverse, and sexually charged behavior, was necessary to perform at your graduation exercise. I'm just struggling to understand. Like, listen, I've graduated high school, and the kind of the kind of school I graduated from was something to be proud of. Okay, I went to a prestigious boarding school that was academically vigorous for me, and there was some times that I didn't think I was gonna make it. So if there was anybody celebrating, it was me and my family and everybody from the hood who I grew up with that drove down to Richmond, Virginia to see the shorty with the most graduate. I had something to celebrate. That was a huge accomplishment. And yet, I don't know. I was excited and I was proud of the achievement, but not enough. I wasn't overcome with so much joy and excitement that it led me to just bust it open for a real one in front of the whole school, parents, friends, family, parents, and dignitaries. I don't know. I've never been that excited about anything, to be honest with you. But let us listen. Like, this is pro ho culture, right? I'm wondering if this is what Lulu on the school board was referring to when she says she's pro ho, because this is absolutely pro ho behavior. I mean, this is pro, let's cut something, let's do something strange for some change, let's make it rain. I don't even understand Why is this kind of life attractive to young? When I was graduating high school, the last thing I was thinking about is simulating acts that go on in the strip club. I was like, we are not those girls. Like me and my peers and the girls that I went to Spelman with, I mean, we like to dance too, but the last thing we wanted to do was identify with the strip club. We were like, oh no, those are them women of the night, them hoes. Like that's what we would call them. No. Like I'm trying to understand, when did this become cool? I'm assuming it's rap and hip hop culture has normalized this to where every girl's dream and aspiration is to be strung up on somebody's pole getting money. I mean, is that it? Because at one point, and I mean, I'm trying to understand how we got here. I really am. Whole culture ain't cute. I mean, did they not see Players Club? Like we saw Players Club and we were like, yeah, that's not gonna be me. Uh-uh. You know, truth be told, we had some girls at Spelman that were paying their way through college as dancers, but they weren't the cool girls. They had to do that on the low, because if people found out that you was a scripper at Magic City, we was like, oh, you one of those. You got to take your clothes off for money. You can't go to the mall like the rest of us and work an $8 an hour job. I mean, what are you doing? No, listen. We just had more self-respect. Maybe it's because these kids is just raised wrong. They are raised wrong and they mamas don't care about them. That's what I'm saying. Because look, my daddy lived down here in Atlanta. And if my daddy had found out that I was at Magic City or at the graduation doing a split like this, he was a senior citizen back then and he would have snatched me up and snatched my whole soul out. And I would not be here today to tell the story. Where are those fathers? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Let us listen to this young girl provide her explanation and reason as to why she just felt compelled to bless us with this Magic City full split expose. Let's take a listen.
Hello everyone, my name is Typion Campbell / Siki Sue, and I'm reporting here to talk about my discrimination. Wait. I've come here to talk about how I've been wrongfully done at Chicago Tech Academy and how I didn't receive my diploma because I did a split on stage. Now, a quick backstory, I've been telling these people for weeks that I was going to do a split on stage. It was not a surprise. They just thought I was joking. And that's the problem now. Don't think I'm joking because I'm not.
Okay, so the first thing I'm noticing is that one, she's identifying the fact that because of her behavior, she did not get her diploma. And as a result of her behavior that caused her to not get her diploma, she is asserting that this is discrimination. Okay, so that says to me that we obviously have a fundamental misunderstanding of words and definitions, because no one is I'm trying to understand. I don't want to put words in her mouth, but discrimination on what basis? I mean, yes, we're discriminating ratchet behavior, right? Like this female imbecilic behavior. Yes, we're pushing back against that, but I'm hoping she's not implying that this is racial discrimination. Yes, discrimination can present itself in a variety of forms, but I just want to, set the record straight that this is not ethnic, racial discrimination. The other point that she mentions is that she had been telling everybody for weeks that she was going to do a split. And then in her arrogant, disposition, she says that I don't understand why I told y'all what I was going to do, but y'all didn't believe me. And that's your problem. And I'm like, okay, so we have people, friends or family or peers of yours who were aware that you were going to pull this stunt. And I don't know this to be true, but I'm curious to know, did anybody say, girl, don't do that? I don't think that's smart, or girl, quit playing. I guess, did you feel provoked and compelled to do it to prove everybody wrong? I don't know. But something that I've observed from this young woman, she's got a social media name. So that means her parents have allowed her to be on social media like this. And she seems to have aspirations of wanting to be a content creator. I can kind of tell when you are in the space of content creation, you have to be engaging, you have to be funny, you have to be able to garner the attention of people long enough so they'll watch you. And so as I'm looking at her, I can tell that her mannerisms and the way she's coming across on camera is a little bit more exaggerated, because she actually has aspirations of doing things to get attention, i.e., being on a social media and going viral. Well, it worked, because I'm reacting to your video and you are an adult. You are not a minor child. So let's be clear. This is not me bullying you, because one, it doesn't seem as if you understand the weight and gravity of what you've done. And I'm going to prove to you guys that she doesn't understand the weight and gravity of what she's done in her own. She's going to tell you in her own words.
So yeah, I did my split on stage, and I walked across, and it was an area where you're supposed to take pictures with your diploma. And the person who was handing out my diploma, she was just looking slow. Well, excuse me, not slow, but she was standing there looking crazy.
No, she wasn't standing there looking slow. She was looking at you as if you were slow, and she was standing there trying to figure out, had you lost your mind and if you were crazy, because only a person that is mentally deficient and slow or slightly crazy would think it is appropriate to bust it open and not just drop it down and split, but to do the infamous strip girl, stripper look back, booty pop on the stage in front of children and parents and people's mima and papa. These children are disrespectful and they have absolutely no home training. This young lady's going to mention in her defense of her foolishness that she just believes this is happening and this school has something personal against her because she's bubbly and outgoing and because she got money. It demonstrates that you can come from a family with money, and if you fail to instill proper morals and values and virtues in these children, and you simply just give them things, that they will still go out into the world unable to contribute anything positive to society, but instead you basically unleash a whole monster and a whole headache and a whole a nuisance to society, because she's absolutely entitled. It's the entitlement for you to think that you can hijack the graduation ceremony and strut on the stage as if you are the center of all things graduation. And not just that, but it's the split and the sexually perverse booty pop for me that I'm trying to figure out, where is your mama and where is your daddy? Like, why were you comfortable enough to do something like that in front of your parents? It's because you're disrespectful. They haven't raised you to have respect and to conduct yourself in a respectful manner, but they've given you things. They've given you money. They let you get bundles, and you got all this weave and the lashes and all these things as a young 18-year-old. And they've not taught you that, baby girl, the decisions that you make today absolutely will affect and shape your future tomorrow. And you're not just going to chalk this up to, I was young and dumb. Now, you may have been young and dumb, but this type of behavior, these antics are solidified on the internet forever. And you've given out your government name. You're gonna hear, she's gonna tell everybody where she's going to school and what she's gonna major in. I don't know what your career aspirations are, but you have tarnished your own professional reputation before you even had a chance to establish one. But I will tell you, this kind of behavior, it is definitely helping you establish a professional reputation, but not the kind that you're going to school for. It's professional in the female entertainment industry. Like, I mean, this is where this type of behavior leads. You're going to come down to Atlanta, and I can guarantee you, there's a high possibility that after that first 1 or 2 semesters, if she ever were to run out of money, she gonna do something strange for some change, and she gonna find herself over there at Magic City, and she won't even need to give an audition because she already got one. This is her audition tape. She for the streets. This is the danger of social media. This is the danger of young girls who have mamas that think that they are your friend and not your mama. And what happens when your father is either weak, or he's in the home and he is not asserting his authority and letting you know that this behavior is improper. It's only one of those two options. Young girls don't act like this in a vacuum. They are either left to themselves, uncovered, unattended, unshepherded. I mean, this is a whole Girls Gone Wild audition tape at your graduation, and I'm trying to understand why. What were you trying to prove? And why is it that your parents have never sat you down and explained to you that you don't act like this in public unless they agree with it?
I'm like, babe, what are you doing? Give me my diploma. And she's like, I honestly thought that they mixed up my name and didn't have my name in the right order. I didn't even think that she was purposely not trying to give me my diploma at first. And then everyone's telling me, oh, just go back and get it, go back and get it. And I'm like, wait, you're telling me to go back and get the diploma, and she's telling me to keep walking. So what do y'all want me to do?
This young girl reminds me of a miniature version of all the other aged adult women who do any and everything for attention on social media because they haven't learned how to find another way to add value to the world. And they think that acting like this and getting likes and getting lots of comments and getting a lot of engagement is the epitome or the measure or the litmus test for success. This saddens me. And this saddens me as someone who's on social media, who understands the art of engagement, who understands that, you have to be bubbly and be full of personality. But it saddens me that she is using her bubbly and engaging personality at a very, very young age for all of the wrong things. Like, you are going to be infamously known for the young girl who booty popped and dropped it like it was hot at graduation. And I'm not saying you're never going to be lived that. I'm not saying that you're never going to be able to live that down. But what I am saying is talk to some of your old aunties about some of their behavior at the Freaknik when we didn't even have social media. And I've seen a video of a female pastor that wanted to sue the documentarians of the Freaknik documentary because now that she's a pastor and she's an adult, she feels some sort of kind of way because the behavior that she participated in at maybe 18, 19, or 21 years old that absolutely paints her in a bad light. She doesn't now want that information to be out there because now she loved Jesus and she a preacher of the gospel. Well, listen, all of our actions have some consequences. And I'm not saying that I've ever, always done everything right, but you got to own up to it and deal with it. And to be fair, if you are a pastor and you claim to be born again, if anything, don't run from it. Just say, look what the Lord has done. Yes, I am absolutely ashamed, but that woman on that video with the booty tooted up, that's not me no more. Let me tell you what new life in Christ and redemption in Jesus looks like post-salvation. Let me explain to you why I was doing that. It's because I was dead in my sin and trespasses. That is the takeaway. And I really want this young girl to understand and learn the same thing. And the reason why I'm covering it is because I want to highlight how this is a deeper symptom of what is culturally wrong, particularly in the Black community. And it confuses me because why is it that every time we want to celebrate, we've got to resort to behavior that's either violent or sexually perverse and explicit. Like I said, I've never been so excited that I just got, filled with the can't help it. And next thing I know, I had to twerk it out. Like I've never been compelled to twerk it out because I'm happy and excited. A little fist bump or a overhead clap or a jump up and down. I don't know. Maybe I'm a prude. Maybe I'm a square. Maybe I'm just too much like regular. I'm trying to understand why everything for us when it comes to celebration has to include sexual perversion or violence. It's either one extreme or the other. Let her finish.
So I was just confused. I ended up keep walking across the stage, and I was standing there for a minute. I was standing there like, I'm not moving until I get my diploma. I'm not moving until I get my diploma. Why didn't you give me my diploma?
Like, she's confused. Like, she don't understand why she didn't get her diploma. Like, she's standing here. She knows what she just did. She saw the way the school administrator was looking at her. And the entitlement is, give me my diploma. I'm not going to move till I get it. I'm like, okay.
So I ended up sitting down. Long story short, everybody's like, sit down, sit down. So I had a seat. I went.
She having a seizure? Like, is this what young people do when they're telling a story? What is this? Y'all are weird. Okay? I don't understand the cadence and the voice inflections. This is the second time she contorted her voice to sound like she was having a seizure or something. Is that a literary device that the young kids are doing now? Because I don't know. Maybe my kids are the weird ones because I don't know what that is. Okay, that's just an observation. What is that and why? Because y'all sound crazy.
Sat down, whatever. After I sat down, I was escorted out of the graduation ceremony, and I was taken outside by a dean, and I was met with my principal, Shackleford, Miss Shackleford, Zatea Shackleford to be exact. And I was met out there, and she was beyond angry, like livid. It was genuine tears in her eyes, and her mouth was shaking. She was really, 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 really upset.
And you know why she was, Miss Campbell? She was shaking, and she was really, really upset because that is the disposition of someone who actually cares about you, who is trying to understand why would you do something like this to, one, embarrass yourself, embarrass the school, embarrass your family. Like, she understands the future implications of your actions, and she seems to be more invested in how you are screwing up before you've even had a chance to start your life than your own parents are. Because I'm trying to understand, what does your mama think about this? What does your daddy? What about your mima and your papa? Yes, the school administrator or the dean or the principal, whoever was visibly and demonstratively upset, is demonstrating to you that this is unacceptable and we can't understand what would possess you to do this. And you're missing it.
And she's like, you need to figure out a way how you're gonna make up for this. You're not getting your diploma until you figure out a way how you're gonna make up for what you just did. And I'm like, wait, I have to figure that out, or do you have to figure that out?
See, this probably was the part that got me upset the most. The disrespectful way, talk about, I gotta figure that out. The assumption is I didn't do nothing wrong. She's like, or you need to figure that out. Basically, I didn't do anything wrong, and you need to figure out what needs to happen for me to get my diploma, because I dropped it like it was hot, busted it open for a real one, popped my booty on the stage in front of people's grandparents and minor children, because I'm a whole thought bucket. All I know is thought bucket behavior. And I obviously don't have any examples in my life, despite the fact that I have money. There are no examples of poised, women in my life to show me how to properly conduct myself. That was my takeaway. Like, this is thought bucket behavior. This is behavior that lands young girls in Magic City at the age of 19 because money is all they care about. And they have realized that the way to fast money is to exploit yourself and sell your body and do something strange for some change. Because I can guarantee you, she's going to go to Georgia State and get this business administration degree. And she's going to find out when she graduates with that BS degree that it's going to be infinitely more difficult to get a job and compete. And then, Lord forbid, if she continues this type of social media behavior, when companies interview her, they're gonna be like, oh, you the chick, you gonna be at the daggone company picnic dropping it like it's hot, and we ain't even bring no alcohol out yet. No, we can't hire you because you don't know how to act. That's where we are with this. It's the arrogance for me, the lack of self-awareness, and this is just symptomatic of the lack of home training. How we have left these children to themselves. Look, I understand. Teenagers are stupid. Their brains are not fully developed, and they're going to do a lot of dumb things and make a lot of dumb decisions. But there was a point in time where there was just like basic decorum, and it was called home training, where you gave your kid the speech before you left the house. Listen, when we leave out of here, don't ask for nothing. Don't say nothing. I'm not buying nothing. No, you cannot stay. You embarrass me, I will whoop your tail. Like, you had rules, there was rules to this. And you got a consensus before you left the house. Do you understand me? And then you waited for the response. And then the child was saying the affirmative, yes, I understand. And they knew that if they failed to comply with that request, that it came with a necessary threat of parental corporal punishment violence. Okay, it's called the rod of correction. You could expect, if you show out, I'ma show out. This is gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you. That is just how it used to work. That is obvious. Them days are long gone, and these children are being raised without restraint, and they are told that whatever it is that they feel is valid and should be demonstratively displayed and shown for the world to see, that it's okay to exploit yourself and you can act any old kind of way on the internet and it is not going to come back to haunt you later. Like I said, ask your old aunties about all of the freaknik footage of them on top of somebody's car, dropping it like it's hot and twerking and flashing and doing all kinds of things. They regret it. Maybe you should listen to them because they can tell you, was it worth it? Nah, it wasn't worth it. Unless they're now like an old orangutan and an old thought bucket, they may not care. But women of a certain age who may have been that way are like, listen, I am not the same person anymore, and I absolutely regret what I was doing. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, this was honestly just a confusing experience. Long story short, I ended up leaving. I didn't even get to do the left to right or right to left with the graduation cap because I was really upset. Like, I was really upset. And then to end this off, the next line of students who went, a girl went up that stage and did a. So let me tell y'all something. That girl still received her diploma.
Now, let me tell y'all something. Y'all keep watching all these nasty rappers and all of this whole culture and this stripper culture that has somehow captivated your minds and told y'all that this was sexy and that this was cool and this is how you're supposed to act. Well, let me explain something to you. You may not feel it, understand it, or realize it yet, but this will come back to haunt you. It absolutely will. One day you're going to be somebody's mama, and by God's grace, you're going to be somebody's grandmother. And nobody wants to see their mother or their grandmother with their booty tooted out, twerking on camera, or worse, doing the split and a booty pop at a graduation. The fact that this young lady is not embarrassed, The fact that she feels no shame at all, and the audacity of her to say, y'all need to figure out what y'all gonna do to give me my graduation diploma, because this is discriminatory. Now y'all are just hating on me because I'm happy. And she even gives an exhortation at the end that you should always be true to yourself. Basically, rebellion. Do what you want to do, and don't even care or anticipate what the consequences might be, because how you feel is valid, and you should be able to do and act however you want with no restraints. Well, I don't think this is going to work out well for this young woman. I am hoping that her parents intervene and snatch her up now, but usually when they're this far gone at 18, it's a work of the Holy Spirit. That's the only thing that can kind of restrain them and help them to course correct. Because at this point, she's already girls gone wild, out of control, and she's gonna be up in Magic City, before sunset. That's just how it is, unfortunately. So I'm curious to know, what do you guys think? I understand a lot of people like, April, maybe you shouldn't have covered this because she made a mistake. No. If this was a situation of a young girl making a mistake, she would have apologized and been able to articulate why this was inappropriate, why it was wrong, and that she shouldn't have done it. This little chick is doubling down. She is doubling down and saying, this is who I am. I'm going to be my authentic self. And these people are just discriminating against me because I got money and I'm cute and all the things. Yeah. Listen, if you got a young son, hide your son from her, because she a whole headache, and she will. This is the making of the female imbecile who can't manage their misery. The one or two things happen. These young girls never learn, and they double down in more rebellion, and they're good to nobody, or they realize it a little bit too late, and then they're forever bemoaning their decisions because no one pulled them aside to help them think wisely and critically about the implications of their actions, even at 18. Her parents have not raised her to walk in wisdom, and they've left more room for her to wreck her life and mess up and make mistakes that could be avoided than they have trying to shepherd her and steer her in the right direction. So, I'm curious to know what it is that you think. Leave me your comments down in the box below. And until next time, you guys, stand firm, stay bold, and above all else, stay unshakable. Grace and